our first guest speaker. Thank you for attending our series today for Cabot. We hope this feature is interesting to you. My name is Steve Delaney, the race director, and I'm here to introduce Holly Grant, who is whose topic today is to eat or not to eat. Ask the dietitian. Fueling for running and busting the myths.
Nice.
Holly's a registered dietitian with specialized training in sports nutrition from the International Olympic Committee. She's a clinical dietitian with Eastern Health and the vice chair of the Body Image Network.
Nice.
With a private practice here in St. John's. She works with athletes and teams to provide guidance on how they can optimize their sports performance with planned quality nutrition. She's the founder and co-founder and director of the Girl Run Club, a non-profit volunteer organization which helps promote non-competitive learn-to-run program for junior high school girls to promote positive body image and create lifelong good nutritional habits. Holly is, of course, an avid runner as well, a member of the Athletics Northeast Club, and she has done 9 marathons and just completed a 50-mile ultra marathon last weekend, and she's still on her feet. So, congratulations.
Thank you for coming out. Oh, it's going to be 25 minutes. Doing this a little bit differently. If you came today to kind of learn about what to eat tomorrow, I may disappoint you slightly because, not to frighten you all, but you should know that by now. Because basically, if you come to any of my other presentations, one of the things that I always talk about is that your long run, whether it's on Saturday or Sunday, is not only time to train your body, but to also start to practice on your pre-race fueling. So there will be some tips and stuff along the way, but what I decided, because there might be some people who aren't doing the race tomorrow, to talk about what with working with people, and people ask me questions, what are kind of 3 common myths amongst runners around nutrition? So that's kind of what we'll focus on. So just some of the challenges around nutrition. I think right now we're kind of living a little bit more of a stressful environment, whether it's because of our jobs or family life. I think we're a little bit on the go a little bit more. And often nutrition needs either kind of put to the back burner. A lot of times we're eating on the run, we're eating in our cars, we're eating in front of our computers. And often too, people, I find, especially athletes, they tend to micromanage their nutrition a little bit. Sometimes people are they want to know how many nutrients they're supposed to eat for each thing. So I find sometimes there's a little bit of stress around nutrition. There's also a lot of confusion around nutrition. 1 minute you're supposed to eat carbs, next minute it's low carbs, then it's tomatoes great, and then the poison, right? So we get a lot of mixed messages in the media. And then the other thing too is that often it can be very confusing just going to the grocery store and trying to understand what's considered healthy and what's not. And I put up, sadly, the picture of the Fiber One bar. I call this the fiber fallacy, because just because it has fiber added to it doesn't mean it's healthy. Because when you look at the ingredients of the Fiber One bar, the very first ingredient is glucose, fructose, and a different form of sugar actually appears 9 times. It's actually one of the higher sugar granola bars. It's almost kind of like the whole wheat Tostitos. People tend to eat more whole wheat Tostitos, but they actually have more sodium and pretty much the equivalent fiber. So that's where nutrition can be a little bit challenging. So my myth number 1 is I'm a runner and I can eat whatever I want. And this is kind of synonymous with I'm pregnant and I can eat for 2. So unfortunately, it's not quite true. The reality is, from my point of view anyways, I feel this whole fueling for fitness has gotten a little bit out of hand. Absolutely. If you're, especially now if we talk about the C2C, we're all kind of on the half marathon distance, or if you guys have done a marathon, absolutely. We do most likely need more fuel, but we really need to look at our day-to-day lives. So if we go for a 10K run, and then the rest of the day we're sitting down in our kind of our desk job, do we really need to eat substantially more? Probably not. So again, a 60-minute run or less is probably not going to dramatically increase your energy needs. So you really got to look, do you have an active job or do you have more of a desk job? So with a lot of the products out there, I find everyone's fueling up for their 5K run in the morning and they're all going for protein drinks when they're finished. So I think we kind of overdo it a little bit. I notice it a lot at the gym as well. You see people get on the elliptical for 30 minutes, then they go stand on the escalator and go down. And then they go to Booster Juice and they get that monster drink. So they're actually taking in more energy than they actually burned off to recover. And again, training is not a free pass for junk food. Absolutely, we probably have a little bit more wiggle room, and by all means, if everyone knows me, they know my sweet tooth. But what I find too is sometimes is that we use running as an excuse to eat more junk food, and that's not the case. Running is a reason why we actually need to get more nutrition to make sure that our bodies are fueled up properly. Because I hear we all talk about what we're going to have Tim Hortons and stuff when we're done, so you hear people planning what they're going to eat now when they're finished. So carb loading. So I get this often. So okay, so you're doing the C2C race tomorrow. Do I need to carb load? No. So basically carb loading, sadly, is for basically anything that's over about 3 hours. That's when you actually need to get into carb loading. The kind of older version of carb loading is when you used to do, like, you wouldn't eat carbs for a couple of days, you deplete your system, and then you kind of carb load the 2 days up. There's no need to do that low carb phase anymore. Basically 2 days before an event, you basically just up your carbohydrates. You don't actually need to up your calorie intake. It's basically you're just lowering your protein, lowering your fat, and you just replace that with carbs. And 2 days before it's fine. So really it is the same amount of calories. But again, you don't really need to focus on that unless you're running for more than 3 hours. So that would be more of a marathon thing. So just to kind of show you, when you're carb loading, you normally take in about 8 to 10 grams per kilogram, and then on a daily basis, 6 to 8 grams per kilogram would be kind of the average intake. So say for tomorrow morning, absolutely tonight, and all day, to me, hydration is usually the bigger issue than us eating. So, sipping on water throughout the day, again, don't go overboard on the water. But again, tonight, you might have something that's definitely more carbohydrate rich, like a bit of a bigger supper. And in particular, if you find it's hard to eat first thing in the morning, you may even want to have a bedtime snack tonight. That's one way. Some people get a little bit nauseated first thing in the morning. If you have a little extra snack before you go to bed, that can top up your carbohydrate stores for the morning. But again, tomorrow morning, what I would hope is that most people kind of have worked out what works for you and what doesn't work for you, because that's really what your Sunday, like your Saturday or Sunday morning long runs are about, is kind of figuring out, hey, did that bagel work for me, or do I rather oatmeal, or when I had that slice of toast and I just had jam, I didn't have my peanut butter, I was starving halfway through. So tomorrow is not really the time to figure out what's going on. Recovery eating, this window of opportunity. So we hear this often, this, have to eat within 30 minutes of a workout. That is true, but only if your next workout is within 8 hours apart. So often we see people kind of scrambling to make sure they get that snack in or get that protein shake in. But if you have more than 24 hours until your next workout, just eating your regular meal pattern, you will restock your muscles. You will get the protein you need, you will get the carbohydrates you need. This is more critical for anyone who's doing double workouts. So maybe you're doing a run in the morning and then you weight train in the evening, or some people that do double runs. So when you have less time to kind of eat, that's when that window of opportunity is important, because within a half an hour of your workout, often kind of your blood's still going, there's a lot of enzymes working that are more likely to suck the nutrients up into your muscles. But other than that, you don't have to kind of worry about eating within 30 minutes. And basically, if when you finish your run, it's going to be a couple hours before your next meal, absolutely have a little bit of a snack, but often I try to time so that my meals become my recovery. And again, here's a picture of someone. We got some water, we got some bananas. So I think this is after. Oh, look, there you are. See, your picture might be in this. Just to let you know, I figured out the range. I got them all from the A&E website, so I said I can use these. They're public. So this is an example of one. I was going to put Bill Palmer up with his beer of what not to do. So this is by what to do. So in terms of striking the balance, so I really live by the 80-20. By no means do I ever promote that we have to be eating well 100% of the time, because that's really no fun. Certainly there's a lot of social, pressed eating, and there's different foods that we might like that might not necessarily be deemed as 100% nutritious. So 80% of the time, we try to eat well. We try to, incorporate the whole grains, your fruits and vegetables, lower. So basically Canada's food guide. I mean, that's the foundation. And then 20% is you have a little bit of that wiggle room. So whether it's a sweet tooth or someone might like, Chester's fish and chips, there is that wiggle room. But as long as that 80% is there. The other big thing too, is really listen to your hunger cues. I think often, again, because we're always so focused on eating within that half an hour, or I just went for that 20K run, I need to eat right away, we often don't listen to our bodies. So that's one of the things I really try to do. When I'm hungry, I eat. When I'm not hungry, I try not to eat, which can be challenging at times. Because people often say, God, I'm hungry all the time. And I say, well, how much are you training? Because, it's just like my example I always use is when your bladder's full, you feel like you got to pee. You got to pee. When your blood sugars are low, that sends a signal to your brain. It means it's time to eat. It's a physiological signal saying it's time to eat. So really listen to that. So you might notice that some weeks when you have a really heavy training load, yes, you're probably more hungry than usual. On a week where maybe you took a week off, you might notice that you're not as hungry, so maybe you don't get to eat as much as you're used to. So really just try to listen to your body in that way. and really focus on quality energy. So again, that's Canada's food guide. You know, the fruits, the vegetables, and things. And when I say be prepared for hunger, what again I try to do is always, you know, whenever I leave the house, I've always got some kind of healthy snack on me, so that when I do get hungry, it's ready to go. Because if you wait till you're hungry to start cooking a meal or to find something, and you're out, you know, driving around, often there's not really a lot of healthy options. So always be prepared for when your body gets hungry. And the other thing is keep the rest of your day in perspective. Again, when you're going for a 5 or 10K run in the morning, you probably don't actually have to readjust your day that significantly unless you have a very active job, which, you know, most of us probably aren't in that category. So the myth number 2 is nutrition supplements are essential for peak performance. I'll start with protein, because this is a common question. So I'm just putting up some numbers. It's not there for you to memorize, it just to show. So generally speaking, for the average population, you need about 0.8 grams per kilogram. So if you eat Canada's food guides, their recommendations, it would be about that much. If you're an endurance athlete, it does get bumped up, and that's mainly because when we're doing endurance activity, often we start using amino acids for our activity. So we need a little bit extra to make sure we have some repair. The maximum amount that your muscles can actually utilize before either you pee it out or before you won't actually store it is 1.8 grams per kilogram. So if you look at a lot of these muscle magazines, they're recommending 2 to 3 grams per pound. So 2 to 3 times what your muscles can actually utilize. So just to give a kind of an example, where most of us, without even trying, can get our protein. So if you're a 140-pound athlete, and just say you go for the upper end, 1.4 grams per kilogram, that's the food that you need to eat to get the 2 cups of skim milk, 1 egg, 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, 3.5 ounce chicken breast, 3.5 ounces salmon. And again, when you look at the size of our meats, like that's like a deck of cards or a little bit bigger. Most of us naturally probably are eating a little bit more than that. So you can see why supplements probably aren't necessary. And again, we get protein from our breads or cereals, and we have cheese, so it's not just meats and stuff. So I mean, by the time you're done eating, you've probably got protein from a lot of different sources. I always take notes and I never use them. So here's just going to show an example too. This is a protein bar. There's a lot of ingredients in this protein bar, and I know I see a lot of different forms of sugar. So this is one of the protein, the Power Protein Plus, 300 calories, 24 grams of protein, 18 grams of sugar. This here is Greek Liberty yogurt, 2 ingredients, 1 cup, a lot less energy, a lot less sugar, and that's actually lactose, and the same amount of protein. So we can get our protein from food. I consider things like protein bars almost like emergency foods. Like if you're traveling, you know, it might be hard to kind of find some of the stuff that you're used to, but I wouldn't rely on it because often these stuff come with a lot of extra, like, I can't pronounce half that, a lot of extra sugar and a lot of extra ingredients that we really don't need. And again, they tend to be pretty dense, so you don't actually get full. So you tend to kind of want some more food after. So this is an example, maybe not so much. So this is after one of the marathons we did down in Memphis. This is not here. So that's pretty much a full cow on his plate. But he does have a good balance here. So he's got some carbohydrates. He's got his fries, vegetables, maybe the coleslaw. He's got his bread in his hand. There's some beans. That's kind of the saving grace. He's got the salt shaker in his hand, so he's going to replenish his sodium. So he did manage to, unfortunately, the one saving grace he left was the beans. So he did have his cabinet. I don't know if he's out running around. I was horrified the entire meal. And then sports drinks. Basically with sports drinks, they can be used if you're running continuously. Now, the research says 60, but to be honest, I go for 90 minutes. 60 to 90 minutes. So if you're moving continuously for over 60 to 90 minutes, then a sports drink might be necessary. Or the other conditions, if it's very hot, very humid, if you're a very heavy sweater, or if you found, like, just say you kind of got up in the morning, you're running out the door, and you didn't have time to fuel up, then again, you're going to get those quick sugars from the sports drinks. I find in particular these are very much misused with children. Most children do not need to have sports drinks. You see the little 5-year-olds out playing hockey, and they can hardly lift. I mean, they're lying on their backs more than they're actually moving. But, you know, we do kind of think that just because they're sports drinks, it means they're healthy, but they're giving us sugar, and they're giving us sodium. So again, you know, you kind of want to use it if you're kind of moving continuously for over 60 or 90 minutes. Or if you look like Bond here, where I don't think that's actually sweat. But if you look like that, you might need a sports drink. Just to kind of develop, what's this? No, just to kind of, oh, no, there's mess. Just to kind of build on the electrolyte things. One of the things that actually, and I only kind of found this out there, say last year, we always assume that taking electrolytes is supposed to help prevent cramping, and that's often what we've been taught. That's never actually been proven. Electrolytes don't actually necessarily prevent cramping, and when you think about it, if our whole body was being depleted of sodium, why doesn't our whole body cramp? Why is it only the muscles we're using? So we need sodium to help retain fluid, which does help with heat regulation, but it hasn't been proven for preventing muscle cramps. What they have found, though, that helps is pacing. So athletes who tend to go a little bit slower in the first half tend to do a little bit better. Athletes who taper more leading up to a race. And I know I found personally doing really long, slow runs, because what they think cramping actually comes from is a term called central nervous fatigue syndrome. So when your muscles are having to contract and relax so much that after a while, something kind of stops basically your muscles' ability to contract and relax. So it actually has nothing to do with sodium. So again, popping these electrolyte pills probably isn't necessary. Eating shouldn't be this complicated. If you ever read Michael Pollan's book, it's called In Defense of Food. Excellent book. His motto is eat food, not too much, mostly plants, which sounds really easy when we say eat food. It's actually not. One of the things that I often teach people is we often get really zoned in on the calories and the sugars and the nutrients and stuff. I always try to get people to go down to the ingredients list, because that's actually what's really important. So some of the things that I get people to think about is, can you pronounce the ingredients? So this is kind of ways that to kind of help with trying to figure out if the food's healthy. So can you pronounce the ingredients? Does your food look like a chemistry experiment? So when you can't pronounce the ingredients, you kind of got to wonder what's in the foods. And a lot of these ready-made foods often, again, are coming with a lot of preservatives. Would you find the ingredients in your cupboard? Most of the times, no. And is there more than 5 ingredients? Next time you go to the grocery store, try to find foods that have only 3 to 5 ingredients. You will be basically limited to fruits and vegetables, even breads now. It's hard to find. So just to show you an example, can anyone guess what this is? And I took all this time to write this. And I highlighted high fructose corn syrup because that's one of the things you want to watch out for. That and hydrogenated oil, which means trans fat. So can anyone guess what this is?
Pizza.
No, it's blueberry.
Was it?
Oh.
Nutri-grain.
Oh.
Made with whole grain, right? So again, things that often, that's why I kind of put the fiber one example up too. I mean, when you look at all of the ingredients, we're not finding these in our cupboard. So a lot of the things that we perceive as healthy, and I'm not saying this is the unhealthiest thing in the world, but it's just being more aware is that we try to kind of go for more wholesome foods. I like the red number 40, blue number 1. How about this? It's always nice when it's really freshly baked, and it's usually only 4 or 5 ingredients. Yeah. So this is Wonder Bread. Yeah. So again, when you think about making it at home, you have the common 4 to 5 ingredients, but when you're buying it, I mean, you're getting all these other additives and chemicals as well. So my last myth, so this one says, don't step on it, it makes you cry. So as part of the Body Image Network, I had to go into this one because training for a marathon is a great way to lose weight. How many times, and I particularly hear from women, is they sign up to do a marathon because they want to lose weight. And I try to smile and nod and not say anything. Because again, with a marathon, the goal is to cross the line and not hit the wall. And not hitting the wall means that you have to be in energy balance. Not that, weight loss is not as simple as calories in, calories out. It's absolutely not that simple. But generally speaking, when you're trying to lose weight, you are trying to create a little bit of a deficit. And again, the more we train, the more hungry we get. So our bodies are very good at trying to maintain. And I do have to go to my notes for this part because I did read, there was a study, but basically it was for, one of the ways it does this by making you hungry, it's worse for women. Researchers at the University of Massachusetts discovered this heightened sense of hunger is stronger in women than men because exercise accelerates the production of appetite-regulating hormones, prompting them to eat more. Men, it turns out, are not as susceptible to this. So the more we train your bodies, again, going to elevate your hunger levels because it's saying, hey, you burnt that much, we need to replenish. Your body doesn't quite get what you're trying to do. Our bodies are very good at maintaining that status quo. And the other thing, they did a poll, and 44% of people training for a marathon gained weight, 28% lost. I think where the weight gain comes in, now some of it can be muscle, but I think it's the I just ran insert kilometers, therefore I can eat insert food mentality. So again, the more we run, yes, we do need to eat more, but I think what happens is we tend to overestimate how much we burn and we underestimate how much the calories are in our food. And what takes you 2 hours to burn can take you 2 minutes to eat. So you find this often that people come and say, I'm training for this marathon, but I actually find I'm gaining weight. And I think some of it's with the justification and the realizing that sometimes what we eat is not quite balancing out. So I thought this was really cute too. I always thought hit the wall was just a figure of speech. So again, just weighing in, not fueling properly could. So I have actually runners who basically, they do actually tend to underfuel in attempts to lose weight. They tend to kind of underfuel their bodies. And if you're trying to train for a marathon, that's doing you no justice, because what ends up happening, lack of energy or recovery, high chance of stress fractures when you have low-fat diets because it affects your bone health. Weakened immune system, you're more likely to pick up a cold, which is never fun to train with. You can get different deficiencies, iron in particular. Burnout. Generally, you're not a fun person to be around when you're not eating enough. I don't know if anyone's been around someone on a low-carb diet. They're not fun at all. Or if you've ever been on one, not fun. And ultimately, this is going to lead to a suboptimal performance. So again, we still need to eat properly. So again, reality, this is one of my biggest pet peeves. Weight does not equal health, and weight does not equal fitness. You cannot look at someone and make assumptions about their health or their fitness based on their weight. There's lots of examples of naturally skinny people who don't exercise, who don't eat very well. They end up with heart attacks. And they go, but sure, I never gained any weight. But they don't realize that what they're eating still affects their cholesterol levels. So they think they're protected because we don't see it. So we really need to take into account the behaviors. And weight does not equal fitness. You have a lot of people into many different shapes and sizes who do very well athletically. So again, where some of this comes from, I go around and take pictures of everything. So this is somewhere on Tops of Road. So that says 12 to 28 pounds per month for lose weight loss. You know it's Mary Brown sign. There's New World Fitness. You got New World Fitness, and there's Mary Brown's in it. So it's very complicated. So again, we are often kind of promoted that this is going to be quick, this is going to be easy. I took a picture of this amazing detox tea that will melt off 6 inches by tonight. Nice. I mean, and this is what we're buying into. I'm only going to flash this quickly for media. This is Anna, I can't remember her last name, she was 88 pounds. This was her last photo shoot with Armani, so they thought this was okay. She was 21, she died at 88 pounds. And even men right now are kind of susceptible to this. Now, in the marathon world, often we're going more for the lean look. But again, even for men now, there is a lot more body dissatisfaction in men. And again, we pass this down to our kids. So it says, you always say hate is such a nasty word. Can't you just dislike your thighs? So, if you have a daughter, and someone says, God, you look so much like your mom, and then they hear their moms complaining about their weight, the girls are going to start getting dissatisfied with their bodies. So it's really careful about how you role model the language that you use, and really trying to kind of basically stop the fat talk or commenting on other people's weight. Because basically disliking our body has become the norm. They found that even girls as low as 9 years old don't like their bodies, and I work with 5-year-olds who don't go to swimming parties anymore because they don't want to wear a bathing suit when they're 5 years old. So media certainly plays a role, but I really feel that family plays a bigger role. So even comments like, God, you look great, have you lost weight? Because what that says is, God, what did I look like before? So, you look energized, you look healthy, but I really ask just to stop commenting about weight, and also about your own weight, because your daughters, your sons, and people around you kind of hear it. And this is, I can't see why it's so scary, but it sure made mom scream. So what really matters, and I'll clue up now in a couple of minutes, healthy positive behaviors is what matters. So it's the healthy eating, it's the physical activity, it's the sleep, and it's the mental health. And lots of research shows that when you focus on weight loss, that increases body dissatisfaction, and body dissatisfaction actually increases weight. So you're actually not doing yourself any service by focusing on weight. So running is great for, so this is Allison's husband, I think, getting into a cop car at the Bell Island. So it keeps you out of trouble when you're involved with running. But it's great for friendship building. It's great for a sense of accomplishment. I don't know if people can see. Pushing yourself, I think this was after the Bell Island blast, I think that's Shannon. Community involvement, again, this is one out in Bell Island. There's our Bob Buckingham. Confidence to try new things, so I think a lot of people in A&E branched out to trying the triathlons and the biking. Positive role modeling, this is Connie going up there 2 goals to accept an award. Overcoming perceived limitations. Getting stronger. Reaching your limit, then exceeding it. This is Laura and I last Saturday when we did a 50-mile race down in the States. So we're looking okay here. So I think this is probably only about 20, 25 kilometers into it. There's no after pictures. It wasn't good. I was in the bathroom most of the time. And then again, the summary is really listen to your hunger cues. So sadly, you may not get to eat like a Kenyan, even if you feel like you're training like one. Fuel your body with real food. And of course, that's the 80-20. That's most of the time. Respect your body. So nourish it, move it, rest it, and please speak kindly to it. And again, for tomorrow, never try anything on race day. So if you've never tried a sports drink, don't do it tomorrow. If there's a new GUA, don't try tomorrow. So only do what you practice because you don't want to introduce anything new on race day. So again, and enjoy the run because again, your body is going to take you from the top of Cape Spear to the top of Signal Hill tomorrow. And that's certainly a wonderful compass to respect your body for. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much, Holly. There's a little gift to say thank you to the club.
Perfect, thank you.
We'll
See you tomorrow.
Yes.
I'll be running it. I'll be watching.
Take questions.
Congratulations on that 50-miler.
Oh, thank you.
Coming up in just a minute, we'll have our next speaker, so Joe Ryan is going to speak on dealing with anxiety and fatigue.
Can we take a question here?
Well, you
For
can,
her.
but I'd go ahead
Or
and make
separate.
an announcement about
Okay.
Joe, and we're supposed to start at 2:30.
The mathematics about protein based on your mass. What do you do if, in my case, where you're quite a bit overweight? Do you still
So
base
you
it?
use it for
What you should be, or what you are?
should be.
What you should be,
because
yeah.
again, for
Within the
muscle,
range, yeah.
Like adipose tissue is not metabolically active, so
Right.
you want to do it for what you would feel would be your kind of your healthy piece.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And anything different for someone who's as heavy as I am? I weigh 235 pounds, and I probably should be about 180. Anything I could or should do differently? No. Yes.
It's hard, but that's a complicated question with a complicated answer. Yeah, there's no one right. I mean, I can chat with you after. There's certainly there's no one solution.
No
that
one
fits
right
all.
way to do
Yeah,
it, yeah.
Absolutely not. All of our bodies are different, and we kind of got to tailor our approach to kind of meet our individual needs.
Yeah.
Most important is love the body.
But love the body.
Love the body.
Well, that's never a problem.
Yeah.